Howdy mates, good afternoon. How are we all doing? It is, well, it's still Monday, August 28th, 2023. This is a part 2 video. We're over by the Stillwater Prairie Preserve, owned in part by the Miami County Park District. You know, I figured since this is practically my last day up in this part of the Midwest, I figured I'd pay a visit over here. This was one of my other few favorite parks that I would visit growing up. So really, this whole trip has been filled with combination of melancholy, happiness, nostalgia, you name it. But anyway, where we are, we're seeing an example of a habitat that only encompasses 1% of Ohio. This is also known as a prairie. And as a matter of fact, a prairie is French, meaning meadow, which oftentimes describes a habitat that is full of forbs, which forbs, not referring to the magazine, rather forbs, they're groups of plants that are flowering, but they're non-woody. So in essence, the types of plants that you will see here, they're not going to be trees until later on through succession. So here we've got an example of the black-eyed Susan. This is just one example. You can actually see another one right over here. Also belongs to the family of Asteraceae. You've also got the rough-leaved dogwood right here. So usually for a healthy prairie, you need to have native plants. And pretty much in a prairie, you know, what we are seeing, it's only the tip of the prairie berg, as I like to put it. Because you got to think, all of these plants that we are seeing, they have an extensive root system that oftentimes goes 20 or so feet below the surface. That's a common mechanism for these plants because there can be periods of drought. And so their extensive root system allows them to maintain their water supply. Fortunately here it's not as bad because we're practically right next to the Stillwater River, which I'll show you guys in a moment. Now, management is crucial here because you figure with our prairies, they do protect several species of wildlife, whether that is mammals, reptiles, or even our pollinators, such as our skippers, butterflies, moths, bees, ants. The list could go on. So really, prairies are by far one of our most crucial habitats, and yet they are still continuing to diminish even to this day. So usually a common method of management includes fire or a prescribed burn. Now in terms of how often they do it here, I don't exactly know. I believe it is every 2 or 3 years. Oftentimes with that prescribed burn, that allows seeds to disperse and thus will allow a new generation of plants to sprout. Okay, hold on just a second, you guys. Alrighty, here we are. This is actually one of my favorite portions of this park, which was practically right by the prairie. Here is the Stillwater River. And actually, from the looks of it, it is pretty low right now. That's just because it's most likely they haven't really had that much rain at all. But yeah, what we're mostly walking on top of right now is, of course, our Cedarville dolomite, which is a form of limestone. And the Stillwater River is one of the larger river networks that is in this part of Ohio, that falls just a bit behind the Great Miami River. Now I believe the Stillwater isn't designated as a scenic river, only because people can still recreate on this river, whether that be with kayaks, canoes, you name it, with watercraft. In order for it to be designated a scenic river, such as the Little Miami, there can't be any form of recreation. Yep, you can see a demonstration of the fact that this bedrock was at one point under the ocean. Oh man, a lot of memories here, my goodness. So peaceful. I think probably some of my earliest memories coming here, I probably had to be at least 9 years old, if I'm not mistaken. So you can figure that was over 15 years ago. But you can see how any river or waterway creates a form of an oasis in greenery. Water brings life. And by the way, too, some of my family and friends right now who are down in Florida, are you kidding me? Right on my nose. Okay. What I was just saying, for any of them who are down there right now, I send you my full regards for your safety, because I'm sure many of you have heard the tropical storm of Idalita, I believe that's the name of it, is ready to hit its landfall. I believe that it is a Category 3 hurricane, if I'm not mistaken. So, for those of you who I know that are down that way, please stay safe. I send you my good vibes. I got to experience Ian from last year, and that was quite traumatic. So I hope that this one won't be as bad. The Floridians definitely deserve a break from that, especially after what happened last year. So, alright, you guys, take care, have a good one. The journey on a journey is, of course, onwards. Take it easy.